The January 6th Select Committee has released the transcripts of 34 different bits of witness testimony. And I believe that in there are some things that we can learn. Although you do have to give it to the witnesses that were brought in. They tried as hard as they could to hide everything about what actually happened in the lead up to that. So we've got transcripts from people like John Eastman, the lawyer that is gonna be investigated potentially, Alex Jones, Enrique Tarrio of the Proud Boys, as well as Jeffrey Clark, that was Trump's acting assistant attorney general. Now, there's an issue with these transcripts that you'll immediately notice. It's that the majority of the transcripts were just people invoking the Fifth Amendment. And like you're probably wondering, well, for what? No, I just mean invoking it for everything, literally everywhere, comically so. Charlie Kirk, for instance, pleaded the Fifth while being asked if he understood what pleading the Fifth was, which sort of actually proves that he does. So I think that he made a bit of a mistake there. But he also refused to answer basic questions about a lot of things. I'm actually more interested in like the one time he would answer a question. So they asked how old he was, and he said, on advice of counsel, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right not to testify. I think that's less about culpability for January 6th and more about the fact that he's still hanging around college students on a daily basis, and it's getting increasingly weird, both as he gets older and as his hairline goes back. Anyway, they asked him, in what state do you reside? He answered that one. He said, I live in currently Scottsdale, Arizona. Then they asked him about his highest level of education, and he wouldn't answer that. I too think that that isn't just the normal Fifth. I think he's actually hiding some stuff there. Maybe Ken Klippenstein will look into it. But I gotta respect the love for Scottsdale. He pleaded the Fifth to every other thing, but he did want to acknowledge where he was from, and I almost respect that. Anyway, there are some things that we actually did learn when a few of the witnesses deigned to answer a question or two. Former Trump campaign manager Bill Stepien testified that he took an intentional, informal self-demotion after Trump brought Rudy Giuliani on the legal team to help spread the election fraud claims. He told the committee about an episode in which he locked Giuliani out of his office, saying, it was a big glass office in our headquarters, and I had my assistant lock my door. I told her, don't let anyone in. Tell me what's going on here, but you're gonna see less of me. Sure enough, Mayor Giuliani tried to get in my office and ordered her to unlock the door, and she didn't do that, It's good to have a good assistant or whatever. So there are some people who are trying to just distance themselves from the election fraud claims that were made. Giuliani, by the way, told the select committee, I do not think the machines stole the election. Seems like news. He certainly acted as if he believed some sort of massive, now that doesn't mean that he doesn't think it was stolen. He could think that mules stole it or something, but a lot of this, unfortunately, they refused to answer. Brett, what do you make of this so far?
I mean, the only thing that I really care about is that Charlie Kirk won't say how old he is, because he was technically born 29 years ago, according to Wikipedia. However, the Ayn Rand book jacket they used as the base organic material in the laboratory that right-wing benefactors fabricated him in, that was at least 90 years old. So there's a little, he didn't want to put in paper in the congressional record exactly how old he is. And we all know he didn't go to college. I don't have anything against people who didn't go to college, but if someone's telling you you shouldn't go to college without having any experience of what that might be like, and especially if they are able to have everything given to them as opposed to have to go out in the world and seek it, then obviously he doesn't want people to know that he didn't go to college. I think a lot of this is just absolutely hilarious. I'm not gonna begrudge anyone for pleading the Fifth in a proceeding they think is absolutely BS, but I would say that I don't think anything about the proceeding and having them go there was BS at all.
Yeah, and I also think that, look, if I had bussed tons of people to that rally and I was facing claims that I had helped in inspiring this riot, I'd probably want to cooperate. Because he says he doesn't, and there isn't, like, other than the busing, there isn't a lot of like direct evidence that he was like looking to have Mike Pence killed. So why not participate? It seems weirdly hostile. Anyway,
you're probably wondering, well, doesn't it make you feel kind of right? But doesn't it make you feel kind of stupid when you're like, listen, what do I have to do here, Charlie? I know that if anyone else pled the Fifth, you would be completely in bad faith saying that, well, they're obviously, if they hadn't pled the Fifth, they'd have to admit their guilt.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna give him more credit than he would give literally anyone else.
100%. Now, all of you are probably thinking, okay, this is all fun, but what about like serious stuff? Well, there is a little bit of serious stuff. So Trump told the GOP leaders of the Michigan state legislature to, quote, have some backbone and do the right thing during a meeting in November at the White House. That is Lee Chatfield, then state house speaker. Do the right thing, and by that he means literally just do whatever will benefit me. It doesn't matter if it breaks the law, breaks your ethics, your obligation to your constituents. Give me the electoral votes of Michigan. So that's an important revelation. Also, this is fascinating, because remember, we keep being told that despite all the evidence that we saw with our own eyes, January 6th was not a riot. It certainly was not an insurrection. After all, nobody had any weapons. Except that Secret Service documents show that hundreds of weapons were confiscated from spectators who passed through metal detectors at the Ellipse rally that preceded the insurrection. They included 242 canisters of pepper spray, 269 knives or blades, 18 brass knuckles. I didn't know there still were 18 brass knuckles.
That's just how douchey they are.
That's super douchey. 18 tasers, 6 pieces of body armor, 3 gas masks, 30 batons or blunt instruments, also 17 miscellaneous items, including scissors, needles, or screwdrivers. I'm sure plenty of people had legitimate reasons to bring scissors to that rally, let alone the hundreds of knives that were brought.
And an expanded assault rifle cartridge in a cherry tree.
You got to do that song actually. But again, Tucker Carlson will never acknowledge a single bit of this. Why people brought hundreds and hundreds of weapons to just let it be known that they believe that there's issues with the election. No, they were looking to beat and possibly kill people. You don't bring a blade just for the fun of it. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.